Hey, fragrance lovers and enthusiasts. Hey, Jean Baptiste, how you doing today? So, if I sound kind of echoey, it's because I'm indoors. Hopefully, y'all are really excited. I thought about making a video collection, full of collection videos, and actually sitting down and showcasing each one. Honestly, moving everything is just taking a while, and this is kind of easier thing to do. This is kind of a lazy thing to do. And I'm just going to show you all my whole collection. I can pull things out of the box. I do store my fragrances in the box. So if y'all want to see any a particular fragrance, or you want me to, kind of give y'all a short introduction to any fragrance, please let me know. So hold on, wait a second for everybody to pop in. But how are y'all doing, my friends? What fragrances are y'all into? How's the fragrance life? How's the fragrance smell? What you been wearing? Today I got sprayed. Oh, I wore that one of my favorites, Prison Blues by IDEO. And honestly, I don't know where it ran off to, but I have another bottle, so it won't be a problem. Joseph says, "What's up, man? Can't hear you." Oh, I'm sorry. I think I had my finger over the microphone. Can you hear me now? Am I better? I'm sorry about that. I'm having to hold my camera by hand and make this work. So, are y'all ready for my whole collection? Hey, Randy. Hey, everybody popping in. Hey, Joseph. I know y'all been wanting to see my collection for a long time, and I've had a lot of people really be insistent. And honestly, I didn't set up very well, but I'm gonna try to do this for y'all. So I have a whole box of things. I separate my collection by what I'm going to review next and what hasn't been reviewed, for separate from my whole collection to help me be organized. And so I'm going to start with the things that need to be reviewed. And honestly, there's some things that are in my collection over there. I haven't reviewed them either, but so let's see it. Hey, Dean, we'll get into it. Joseph, yes. What's up, man, from Minnesota? Is that Minnesota? I think that is. So let's get into this. It's going to be a lot to go through. And again, feel free to ask any questions about what I think of these fragrances or my thoughts, and most of them are boxed. So let me know if you want to see the actual bottles. The first one here is Saint Kitts by Tommy Bahama. Let's see this. Wow, I'm so excited. So, I don't think I can switch around the camera. Well, anyway, well, I can, but I won't do it right now. This is a really good, fresh. It's a starfruit fragrance. It almost smells pineapple-like. I couldn't find the regular Saint Kitts, just the bottle itself. So I was kind of impatient, and I'd heard about good things about it. So I eventually got this one, and the gift set was only 35 bucks. If you can find this for 20 bucks, it's a solid summer fragrance. A pretty darn good cheapie in my opinion. So I'm happy to have that in my collection. I'll have a review coming of that one. I have a lot to reviews to make. Hey bud, hey John, hey how you doing? What's your scent of the day, everybody? I'm actually doing a collection video, so I'm gonna show y'all everything. Um, I don't know if I should. I keep everything in boxes. That's one reason I've kind of held off doing this because do y'all want to see everything unboxed, or do you just want me to show you the box? Because I know y'all want to see the actual fragrances. This is a Dunhill Century fragrance, very modern, pretty sweet, kind of dense. And I got this one for like $29, shipped to my door. And it's a big 4.5 ounce bottle, magnetic cap. I don't think these sold very well, and I don't think it was talked about very much because it is kind of linear. It's not the most exciting designer fragrance in regards to being like a blue mass appealing fragrance. It's going to get you compliments. But this is a Santal 33 killer. This stuff smells better. It might not last as long as the Santal 33, but it feels and smells better. It's a huge 4.5 ounce bottle. And the killer, I think, was that they were charging like around $100 for this fragrance. People are usually, want to pay $80 or maybe less for designer fragrances. So they tried to make a little bit of a higher end fragrance. The bottle's high end. I mean, it's very, very nice. And it's a magnetic cap. So you can find that one on the cheap now. If you love Santal 33 or if you want a sandalwood fragrance, That's a really good one for the money. Um, Creation E cologne. That's a really nice fragrance. I kind of like Fan Your Flames, but I know a lot of people love that fragrance. I heard a rumor that it was discontinued. Is that true, Dean? I don't know if it is. Adam says Scent of the Day is Le Invasion by Alexandra. Is that a copy of Invasion Barbar? If it is, I'm sure it's good. Alexandra does a pretty good job overall. Joseph says, I just sprayed one spray of Off-Non Supremacy in Heaven. It's heaven, bro. Projection is like Parfums de Marley. Yeah, that fragrance is crazy on the longevity. I got it right here for you. Do you want me to pull it out of the box? I might have a whole bunch of unboxing to do and then putting it back in the box. Because that's how I store my fragrances. It keeps them to last, protects them from the sunlight, keeps the temperature stable, and sometimes I think the boxes look real pretty, so I tend to keep them. Says if it's still cool later, I'll wear Perry Ellis M. Great choice. And like you were saying, this Off-Non Supremacy in Heaven is supposed to be a Silver Mountain water fragrance or clone kind of adaptation. It removes all the sweetness, in my opinion, from the black currant, and it removes all the inkiness, the inky vetiver. And what you're getting here is maybe a little bit more linear, maybe a fragrance that doesn't have as much character, but it's very kind of sandalwoody. It's very clean. It's neroli. It's sophisticated. It's highly versatile. And to me, I don't know why you would want Prada El Homme when you can get this. And people weren't joking. I heard some people say 10 hours. I heard some people say 12, 14 hours longevity. And this stuff's no joke. This will give you serious performance. If this doesn't get you through a workday, I don't know what will. So it does have really good performance. It does smell maybe a little bit more molecule-like if you're super picky on your fragrances, but it doesn't smell unpleasant, even though you can notice that it's kind of molecule-ish. Scent of the Day is Hugo Boss in Motion 2012 batch. I don't know if I've tried that one. Is there a reformulation of that one? Is that one kind of hard to get your hands on, and the price is jacked up on it? That's annoying. Yes, close, but I like the OG better. Okay, I see what you're saying. And the OG is legit, but it's pricey too. But it definitely is the real deal. The light over your head makes it hard to watch. Oh, I'm sorry. If I turn the light off though, it'll be kind of dark in here. I wish I had better lighting, but I kind of don't. If I hold my camera out like this, is it better? I'm sorry. This isn't very comfortable for me, but I guess I'll make do. Dean says, "Have you tried Les Canto by IDEO? Note breakdowns look very similar to Rolling in Love." I don't think I've tried that one, but it does look nice. The House of IDEO is a pretty good niche brand. I think they make their fragrances kind of wearable. They're not super nichey, but some people might like that. They're kind of in between, you know. Definitely have some character, but they're still pretty wearable in my opinion. Oh, and hi, sorry to be negative. Oh, no problem, Jamie. If y'all ever have a recommendation or thoughts, feel free to tell me, and I'm here to try to please you. So, David off Zeno, I recently got this one, a blast from the past, and I got this for like 17 bucks. It's a really nice balsamic fragrance. If you like stuff like Encre Noir, I don't think this is approaches the quality of the Lalique. I don't think it's the same quality, but I think if you like that dark balsamic style fragrance, I think Zeno's still a good juice, just like Dior Fahrenheit. I think it's pretty good stuff. Dean says agreed. So this one's really good. It's a 4.2 ounce bottle. It's a bigger bottle for 17 bucks shipped to my door. I mean, I'm not gonna complain. I still think it smells pretty good, even though it's a shame that it's been reformed so badly. Have you? Let me see. How much juice do you have left of the Eau Trace Fresh? Actually, I have a good amount. I probably underspray compared to a lot of fragrance reviewers. A lot of fragrance reviewers seem to bundle spray or spray a lot of it. And if I'm just, especially if I'm keeping to myself, which that's what a lot of us are doing these days, we're keeping to ourselves. I tend to go pretty easy on the trigger. And I've been using lots of oils and trying to meditate and that kind of stuff. But Sitting down would make it easier to watch. Light wouldn't be right over the head. Okay, let me figure do that. Do y'all mind a green ugly green paint behind you? I'll try to do that. When I get to my collection that's on a table over there, I don't know if I'll be able to sit down though. So let's see. This is Anthony One. Anthony One. I don't know if y'all have heard about this one. This one's a Tahitian vetiver style fragrance, kind of citrusy. It's I don't think it's worth $100 if you find this. I do think it's a good presentation. It's a pretty nice bottle overall for kind of a brand just coming out of the woodworks. The cap on here is actually really snug, and the sprayer is quite nice. Heavy cap too, but it's nice juice. It doesn't last the longest, but the quality of Anthony One is pretty nice. I got mine for like 50 odd bucks. There's an eBay seller, and I don't know why or how, but he is selling it for like 50, 65 odd dollars, and it had to make the offer function, and I think I offered it up 55 odd dollars, and he took it with free shipping, so I was really happy about that. Let me see here. Adam says Zeno, great borderline barbershop. Yeah, Xeno's really nice. It does have some of that Fougere type vibe, but it's also kind of approaches the dark side of fragrances. So I really like that Xeno. It's I don't feel like it is kind of masculine and maybe a little bit old school, but I don't feel like it's outdated. I don't feel like it is at all. So much better. I'm happy that you like it, Dean. And hopefully the screen quality is kind of better. I definitely need to get a new phone too. So the paint is beautiful on the wall. You like it? You like this neon green? I don't know I don't know what you call this shade of green. Definitely darker. Love it. Yeah, I love Xeno. So this one is a Bulgari Man Extreme. I don't want to spoil my review. This is the box I'm pulling from right now that needs to be reviewed. But I did praise it pretty highly on my live on Instagram this morning. And this is one of the best citruses I think out there for the money. It's classy. It has a really nice citruses and also has cactus and some really nice light woods to it. I think the Fragrance Apprentice spoke really highly of it, and I had been wanting it for some time, and I dove into it. And Bulgari has some really good fragrances for the money, and one of the more natural smelling citruses or better quality smelling citruses that I've smelled. For the price, 35 odd dollars for a full size bottle. So, and if some of these look familiar, I did showcase these on my big haul video, and that's why I'm pulling from them right now. But I'll get to my actual my bigger collection of stuff maybe y'all haven't seen in a while, maybe some stuff I haven't reviewed. And I only have about 10 niche fragrances, or I don't even think I have 10. Well, I guess if you include, I got 3 new bottles, but I guess if you include those. So much better. Definitely darker. Yeah, this is Ferragamo Umo. Have y'all seen this one? This is one I'm not definitely not selling this one or giving it away. This is a great cheapy gourmand. If you want like a caramel fragrance, like a rich coconut cake fragrance with some coffee, this is gorgeous. Some people have compared this to an Italian breakfast. If Italian breakfast smells like this, I need to move to Italy because this stuff is really nice and it's not as rich. It is pretty sweet. Some people think it's too sweet, but it's not overtly gourmand and overtly rich. There's a lot of really nice, really pretty well blended ambergris in the dry down. That makes it smell very modern. It could have smelled pretty gourmandish and pretty sweet and overtly playful, but the ambergris in the dry down makes this smell really, really modern. And sometimes this reminds me of Ganymede. Sometimes by the house of I think it's B680, or maybe that's one of their other fragrances, but anyways, it reminds me of Ganymede sometimes, which is a really nice it's a niche fragrance. I don't know if y'all have smelled it, but I'm surprised Bulgari hasn't reached out to you yet. Hey man, I don't know. I've talked about pretty highly on some fragrances. I haven't had any brands reach out to me like that. I'm not a big dog and I don't know. I'm not really looking for that, but if somebody wanted to hire me or whatever, it'd be nice. I, I definitely you know could use something like that. That sounds great. Hey Randy, hey, how you doing? Guess 1981 Indigo. Y'all begged for this one. Y'all begged for a review, and I got it for y'all. This is a really nice coconut fragrance. It's kind of blue. It's probably the best cheapy coconut on the market besides Saint Bart's by Tommy Bahama. The quality is pretty good. When I first got my bottle, for some reason there was some top notes that were kind of spicy, but I don't really smell that anymore. I think it's kind of blended in there, but a lot of fragrances have some kind of secret notes. They have these secret little hidden notes, especially with spices to give it a little bit longevity. But it's kind of linear. It's kind of sweet. In my opinion, I think Old Team is getting a little bit expensive and getting a little hard to find. This doesn't exactly smell like Old Team, but it gives you a similar vibe. If you keep hearing people talk about Old Team and talk about how good it is, and you can't find it or it's too expensive where you live, I think that something like this is going to give you a similar vibe. It's not the same, and I think that you'd be happy and be able to go throughout your day for a mass appealing, easygoing, soft, almost like powdery fragrance. So it's this one is quite nice, and I can see why people love it for a cheapie. You can get that one for like 20 odd dollars. If you're really picky deep into niche, you probably wouldn't care for it. But I notice a lot of your collection is designers. Do you prefer a large collection with designers or smaller with niche? Well, I I have about what how many fragrances do I have now? I haven't sat down and counted them, but I probably have 80 or so. I like designers for the price, and I do think that you can get a lot of really good bang for your buck, especially if you buy discounted. But I do prefer niche overall, but you really have to get out there and find things that you like, and it takes a lot of money, it takes a lot of time. And when you're discovering niche, unless you have a big boutique around you, samples get expensive. It really adds up really fast, and you're probably going to dislike more niche than you like. I've gotten to the point where, I have a bunch of niche that I want to buy, but that wasn't at first. I was like, I don't know where to go with niche. I didn't know what to get into. And at first, maybe the first niche fragrance I got was Fan Your Flames, and I had sampled it and had to try it because of Brooklyn Fragrance Lover, and I think I mentioned that before. But his talk on, I forget the name too. Is like it wasn't Stephanie, I think it was Tiffany, and how much she liked that fragrance, and it was more interesting. And he was like surprised that she liked it because it was like more of a masculine fragrance and had so much character, and that's what kind of got me into niche. I think I have, I don't know, 10 or so in total, but in the future, especially if I can get a better career going for myself, I'll probably have more niche than designer. But for everyday wear, for casual wear, I do really like the designers. And, I've had people seem to challenge me or seem to be annoyed at me, and they think I'm all about niche because I do reviews of niche. I do like finding niche and other fragrances that I find are really fascinating and really interesting, but I'm just sharing them. It doesn't mean that I absolutely love them or I think that they're always better than designers. I mean, for everyday versatility, for just going about and smelling good, I mean, designers are pretty much where it's at unless you want a really high quality a niche fragrance. And to me, I don't know, it kind of defeats the purpose. Maybe if I had a lot of money, I would I could put on 10 sprays of, I don't know, Pacific Rock Moss by Goldfield and Banks and not care about it, or Costa Azura, which I really love from Tom Ford, but the price is just, oh goodness. Um, that sounds great. Yeah, yeah. Do you eat tiramisu for breakfast in Italy? I don't know. I don't know what they're doing over in Italy, but they must be doing something right. If that smells like an Italian breakfast. And I have some samples over there too. I haven't reviewed their fragrances yet, but it's an Italian brand, and they have the best coffee fragrance I think I've ever smelled. I'm having a real hard time deciding between it or the Ristretto, um, the was it the Intense Cafe Ristretto by Montal. But hey, Indecents, hey, how you doing, my friend? How's the world? How's the life? What you smelling? What you smelling like? Do you like? Could you have a collection of 30 niche versus 70 designers? I could. I certainly could. I would actually prefer having the 30 niche over 70 designers personally, but I mean, to me, I really care about value. So even in the future, if I had a really good career going, I probably would have some really nice designers that I'd keep around just for versatility's sake, going around and being kind of effortless. When I wear niche fragrances, it puts me in a mood, and I want to wear something special for a certain occasion. And and to me, I do think about the cost of those fragrances. So, like my Jubilation 25, I've had some people get annoyed at me. They're like, "You bought the full size bottle, but you rarely wear it." But I'm like, "Yeah, but I wanted it." Jubilation 25 has been a fragrance I've always wanted and I've always loved and cared about. So I had to get the bottle, but I rarely wear it. I save it for the fanciest of occasions. So I just have what I love, whatever it is. Yeah, cheapies, designers, niche. I'm all into it. I don't like it that people really pick sides with, like niche, or you have to like indie, or you have to like naturals. Find fragrances that you like and wear whatever you want. And that's what my collection is. I have everything. I have cheapies, designers, niche. I've dabbled in naturals from House of Matriarch, and I might buy a fragrance called Lavender, a lavender cologne from Unda Prisca. But I mean, naturals is a whole different world. I've dabbled with ouds, but I've never actually spent the money on a real deal oud fragrance. I have a tiny little decant of wild oud, and I think it was like point 0.3 of a mil, and it was like 25 bucks. It's one of those real deal ouds that's $100 a mil. So I can't go for that. It's too pricey for me right now. But um, Ronald says if I buy niche, will still be mass appealing like Hoctavat Reflection Man. Yeah, so that's a kind of a big discussion I tried to have on Instagram. And if y'all want to talk about that as we go through my collection here, we can talk about that because some people really dislike and some people really are for mass appealing niche fragrances. And in my opinion, I like niche fragrances to be more on the artsy side and daring side, but I still like them to be wearable. But some people want them to be completely artsy, and some people want them to be completely mass appealing. Like I like Reflection Man, but I don't know if I would pay it. I can buy that that off non supremacy in heaven and something like that, and it's going to give me a similar smell, have me very fresh and clean and sophisticated, but for an everyday fragrance. So, but Indecent says agreed. I just watched guys review a $5 Bath and Body. I mean, hey, if that does it for you, I've never fallen in love with a Bath and Body Works fragrance or anything like that. I've never went to the dollar store and fallen in love with any of that stuff. But if that does it for you, if that works for you, I'm not going to put you down. I've seen some people put down on Nautica Voyage, and I've talked pretty highly about that one. I know a lot of people love that one, and that got me a lot of darn compliments if that's what you're into. So, try Atars, like ones from Abdul Samad Al, how do you say that, Karashi, or Arabian Oud. I'll have to give those a chance. Um, when we get into my closet, get into the closet, I'll be able to show y'all some of my random oils and stuff. But this is one I got recently. This is Bois. How do you say that? Bois du Doge. This is by Eau de Italy. I really want the mint one. They have a mint one, and this is more of a very interesting and fascinating spicy fragrance. And I think it has fennel. It's like most spicy fragrances are dry and airy. This is like more of a culinary spicy fragrance. It's not cumin, it's not turmeric, it's not anything too scary. But this is like more of a full-bodied spicy fragrance. I don't know. I can't compare it to anything like an Indian kitchen or anything. I haven't really been around those. But I could imagine this smelling like, a kitchen with everything going on, desserts and spices and exotic ingredients. So, and these are not too expensive for what they are. I'm pretty impressed with these overall. I'm pretty impressed with the brand. And let's grab another one in here. Oh, I got another Davidoff. I'm unboxing for everything. I'm gonna hate putting everything back in the box, but Shunra has been reformulated. For your information, no longer a beast. Shoot. Okay, shoot. I don't know much about that one. But yeah, reformulations happen. That's a shame. I heard about that. It's a shame. Yeah. And is that one that everybody loves and everybody talks about? Hello, sir. Tell me about Dior Homme Cologne. Dior Homme Cologne is discontinued. It's getting hard to get. It's fairly expensive these days. It's just going to get more and more expensive. That whole Dior line is pretty desirable, and a lot of people really love it. It's kind of lemonade-ish. Everybody talks about it as like frosted lemonade. It is kind of a simple fragrance. It is kind of cooling. It's not very complex, but it just smells simply good, you know, and that's why people loved it. It just simply smelled good. Highly versatile, easygoing. It suffered from longevity. I think it was like what 4 hours or so. But if you can find it out there for less than retail and you really want a fragrance like that, it might be worth your time. But in my opinion, unless you love the fragrance and you have memories connected to it or something like that, I wouldn't go out there and pay more than $80 like full retail for Dior Homme Cologne unless you truly love the fragrance and you just can't live without it. So, Middle Eastern perfumery is good. Yeah, they do have some really nice, intense stuff. Sometimes they do it really right. And of course, they do have a lot of clone houses as well. And sometimes, they do a really good job too. So is Hawass. I heard that Hawass is reformulated, and that's a shame. I actually thought about buying that one as a Christmas gift for my brother, and I never ended up buying it. Is it a lot worse? Is the projection not near as good as it used to be? Let me know. Here's another one, guys. This is Silver Shadow. I'm gonna do a review of this one. And this is again all of these from this box are definitely. I'm gonna do reviews. This is a pretty darn good patchouli. It's more of like an old school patchouli. It's a little bit overtly masculine. It uh, it might smell a little bit vintage, but for 17 odd dollars, I think this is great. It's not the highest quality smelling fragrance, but I don't feel like it smells overtly synthetic or terrible. And this fragrance actually has a pretty good projection and pretty good sillage on it. Um, a lot for the average person, I think they'd be happier spending an extra $20 and getting the Bentley Man Intense. But if you don't want to spend the 35 and you just want to spend half the money, and you don't mind you're want something that smells a little bit masculine. I mean, the Bentley Intense is masculine, but this one is too, but this one's a little bit more gentlemanly, a little bit more old school. I think that you would like this Davidoff Silver Shadow. I'm pretty impressed with it for the money. And I always kind of liked it from my dad's collection. He ended up selling it. He honestly, he's more of a Creed guy. He's sold most of his fragrances that a lot of his designers, and he mostly keeps around Creeds and odds and ends. I think he's kept around a couple Muglers. For some reason, he likes those. And I mean, I like them too, but for his personality, I thought that he would dislike Muglers, but he actually likes them. See, why do you think all the best perfumes are being reformulated? Well, a lot. I mean, a lot. Everybody immediately says greed, and sometimes that is the case. But there was a bunch of new rules that came out of IFRA and Firmenich recently. So all these brands they buy their aroma chemicals or they're directly made, directly sourced from them. So they have to play their game, or maybe they even have direct control of their companies. And reformulations are going to happen pretty often. If they don't happen every year, they're going to happen every couple of years, and it's a shame. If any fragrance uses anything in high concentration, and they deem it unhealthy, or they want you to buy a new aroma chemical, or there's social or maybe political pressure for one thing or another, they can change everything. I wouldn't be amazed if Initio at one point has to do a bunch of reformulations because some of their fragrances use the maximum legal amount of hedione. Like I think one of their fragrances, like half your bottle is like full of like hedione. So I wouldn't be amazed that if they restrict that to some degree, and Initio has to change everything. So it's terrible agony black. Indecent. Oh, is that one a fragrance you like? Adam Brown says, I just bought a bottle of Hawas from Fragrance by CA, and it lasts all day and smells great. That's good to hear. Maybe you got a pre-reformulated, or maybe the new formulation's not that bad. So, uh, how cheap alternative to Bacher Rouge 540? Okay, so maybe I'll check that one out. I'm not the biggest 540 guy, but I might have to give it a chance. Adam Brown, I was thinking of picking that one up. What's up, Ben? Hope you're doing well, brother. I'm doing great, Fragrance Journey. I'm showing my collection, showing a bunch of fragrances, and hanging out. Fragrance Journey's legit, guys. If y'all haven't checked out his channel, he is more into deep into niche, and he has his own style and he has his own taste, and I completely respect it. If you want a little bit more of the daring stuff, the unusual stuff, and want to dive into a little bit into the deep end, Fragrance Journey's your man. He does a great job of that. A lot of these are cheapies. I don't know if I'll entertain you right here, Fragrance Journey, but my recent haul was a lot of them were more affordable fragrances. Um, let's see. Have you tried Caron pour Homme? I think I have, but it's been a little while. I don't know. You might be able to find my review of it if I have. That sounds familiar, but I might be mixing it up with Carcharel, but I think I have. It's just been a while since I've tried it. And remind me what it's like, and maybe it'll jog my memory. What's your favorite designer scent for spring? That's a really hard choice. If I had to pick one, I'm probably going to be loyal to my Terre d'Hermes Eau Trace Fresh, but there's a lot of good ones. I just talked really highly about this Bulgari Man Extreme. This is great stuff for the spring as well. Really, really good stuff. Again, really good high quality citrus for the money. And then you got a beautiful cactus note coming through. It's fresh. It's kind of on the happy side, just like Terre d'Hermes Eau Trace Fresh. I don't think you'd be disappointed. It's pretty unisex. I might like it more on a significant other, like a lady. But if I had the money for spring, Mula Mula is darn good too. I heard a lot of hype about it like a year ago, and the hype has died down, but I can see why people are hyping that one. That's a fun fragrance. Mula Mula by Byron. Let me see here. No reformulations are a pain. Yeah, they certainly are. I think oil-based perfumes will be the way to go from here on. Oil-based, yeah, they I don't know. Do they do they reformulate those as often? And I don't know. Do Arabian houses with oils tend to reformulate their fragrances as much? I'm not sure, but I think oils, especially for layering, give you all kinds of versatility in your collection, and that's why I like oils so much. If you have 50 fragrances or 100, if you have one oil that you like that can mix it up, you can have all kinds of combinations and smell different, and it's a lot of fun. Much love, brother. Hey, Fragrance Journey. Love back to you. So this one is called Neroli Woods by Banana Republic. Y'all probably heard about this one. This is kind of stealing the show. One of a really popular, kind of hyped cheapie that kind of deserves the attention. This is great stuff. Neroli Woods. I'm so sorry about that. My power's a little bit low. I'm into a power bank. Hopefully everything's back to normal. I just lost everybody because of my darn cell phone, but okay. Can y'all see me? Can y'all hear me? Caron is lavender and vanilla. Okay, I might have not, but I've tried some things that sound similar. Fragrance Journey's king of leathers and ooze and Am Alex. He definitely is. I like a good leather too, but sadly enough, he definitely has me beat on the intensity of his fragrances. He's a bold man, bold brother. Let's check out some of these fragrances again. Let's see. I should be safe now. I'm plugged into a power bank. Sorry, all of y'all, for getting disconnected for a second. Let's see what else we got here. Filling up my whole counter. Oh, this one's a joy. This one's a little hidden gem. Y'all probably haven't ever heard about or reviewed. Very few people ever talk about this one. And I had to buy it off eBay too, which is kind of risky. It's like something that almost nobody talks about, and then you buy it off eBay, and you're like, well, did I buy something bad? Did I buy something terrible? This is Baldessarini's, I think it's just called Homme, Eau de Cologne Concentrate. And this smells similar to the regular Dolce & Gabbana Homme with that patchouli, but this stuff is a little bit more minty. It's a little bit more aromatic. It definitely has that masculine 90s patchouli kind of going on here, but this definitely makes it a little bit more classy. And The woods are really nice in the dry down. This is definitely grown up stuff. I wouldn't recommend this to a younger guy. But if you're a gentleman out there and you definitely love that Dolce Gabbana Pour Homme DNA and you want something really classy, you might just want to check this one out if you're really into that DNA. It's I was really surprised by that one. I'll put out my review and tell y'all more about that. It's pretty good stuff. Let me see here. Let's jump to another one. And again, if y'all want me to talk any more about them, go into a little bit more detail, feel free to ask me. Say, hey Ben, I wanted to hear more about that one. You know, you didn't talk enough about that because I have a lot of stuff to get through. I got a lot, and I shouldn't even talk about them. I should just mention them to you. Let's see here. This is Guess Seductive Noir. I've tried some Guess fragrances. I think I got a decant from Smelling Great. Was it? What's the name? Chris over there at Best Brands Perfumes, and I was really grateful to him. But I didn't end up reviewing it because I didn't want to beat up on a cheapie. But I can get behind this one. This is about a $20 fragrance, full size bottle, and this has that cologne kind of vibe. Not that it's aquatic, but it has that mall smell, and it's kind of like a honey tobacco fragrance, but instead of the ambery kind of feel that you get with Dolce Gabbana the one, this one has more of like a Tonka type of feel, and it's a tiny bit dark, but this is mass appealing, and I really dislike it. It in the bottom I think is cool. It's like a grid, but the truth of it is, ladies love this more than my niche fragrances. Ladies love this more than almost anything. And this is another one of those fragrances like Nautica Voyage that I hate to say it, but if you're looking to just be appealing on the dates, and if you want to really be, the average lady, not all ladies are the same, but this Guess Seductive Noir definitely is a charmer. And I don't know why, but there's something about it. There's something that they put in there that does something for them. Let's see here. I got Hugo Boss, bottled. No, Hugo Boss and bottled Intense Part the Parfum version, and I absolutely love this fragrance. Some people say that it's overplayed or boring. I don't know where some of these people live because where I live, almost nobody knows even what Hugo Boss is. Nobody wears Hugo Boss fragrances. Nobody's seen this stuff, and especially the Intense version, which I know it's pretty darn similar to the regular, but the Intense, is different than the normal bottled. The bottled Intense, and this is the Parfum version, so it just makes it deeper and richer. There's not a lot of the freshness. This one almost has leathery nuances, and almost has like a little bit of labdanum to it. To my nose, it almost has a little bit of that, and really good fragrance for just being effortless and classy, just going out and about. And this is actually quite mass appealing. This gets me a lot of attention, and again, I would like to think that my complex niche fragrances, stuff that I think is super great, gets me attention. Stuff like this is what gets me attention. Hugo Boss Bottled Intense Parfum, and straight from Germany, and I like it. I don't know why. Some people out there seem to be pretty critical of the Hugo Boss fragrances and say that guys should never wear it, but I do. Let's talk about another one, guys. Y'all ready for a niche fragrance, a real deal niche? I got this one. Y'all probably saw me talk about it. This is Ursa by Tiziana Terenzi. This is a real deal niche fragrance. If you like mass appealing niche, I wouldn't say that this is completely on the artistic side, but this is definitely on the niche side where it's daring. This is a little bit animalic. This is leathery, and this is boozy with a rum. But the rum here doesn't have the sparkle. The rum is more like it's been set out. Somebody poured the rum in a glass and let it sit out in the cold. I don't know, for 10 days. This is pretty bold. Anybody can wear anything, unisex, whatever. But I think that this definitely has some confidence and some character, and it's bold. So I feel like it's more masculine, but really good juice. Ursa by Tiziana Terenzi. If you're a leather lover, if you can bother with a little bit of an animalic vibe. I think Fragrance Journey even has that one. I think you have that one, don't you? Fragrance Journey. Are you still in the house? Are you still with us? Anyways, everybody, I ran through with all my recent purchases, and now we get to jump to my solid collection. I mean, I'm gonna keep all those. I'm not gonna sell them and get rid of them. But now I get to jump to my actual collection. So I'm gonna have to stand up for this. I know some of y'all didn't like the light. Let me know. Can I turn off the light? Will it be too dark in here? Is that too dark? Do y'all want the light on or off? Anyways, I'll keep it on for now. But let's talk about all these fragrances. Let me know which ones you want me to unbox. I'm not gonna unbox these unless y'all really want me to. Kieran NYC's 10 a.m. Flirt. Gorgeous fragrance. If you like grassy notes, beautiful fig, huge hit of gardenia, heavy on the gardenia, and one of my favorite spring fragrances. Gorgeous, gorgeous stuff. And it's like $75 for the bottle. It's a really great new house that's on the scene, just like Fleur, and they don't get that much attention. So give them a chance. In my video today, I spoke of pretty highly of this one, and this is Baldessarini Private Affairs. A pretty safe fragrance, pretty close to the skin. Doesn't have good longevity, but it's a little bit dark. It's a little bit tantalizing, a little bit sweet, a little bit leathery, and I really like it for being close to people and smelling a little bit provocative, but not too much. It whispers a little bit, but it's not aggressive. So I like it for those situations, like a second date or something. But let's talk about this one. This is Amber del Sur by Connor Barcelona. It's just a white, no-name box, so I'm gonna take this one out for y'all from Fragrance by CA, and I got a really good deal on this one. I guess they were liquidating them because this isn't. I don't think this sold very well, and this is great. Amber del Sur. It smells kind of like the Mediterranean, but animalic, a little bit of pine, and really like the presentation. Really, really enjoy the fragrance. This is my kind of juice, but it is a tiny bit animalic, so it might scare you. But just look at that juice. Look at that gorgeous stuff. I'm crazy about Carnar Barcelona. I love their stuff. I love Nichane, Carnar Barcelona. I love some of these houses. Let's talk about the next one. Umo, Moschino Umo. If y'all haven't seen this one, I talked really highly about this one today as well. This is just clean and sophisticated and classiness in a bottle, a little bit mysterious. I know Kuba knows, and some of these guys out there actually dislike this one. They said it smelled like a baby or something. But this is really good juice if you just want to smell clean out of the shower. And again, there's so many great fragrances like this one, especially for the money. You can get this one for less than 25, close to $20. It's a big 4.2 ounce bottle. Some people say it has poor longevity. I get at least 5 hours, 5 to 6 to 7 hours, depending. If I spray it on clothes, I get longer. It actually projects pretty well. And this fragrance, I love this stuff. I'm crazy about it. And I don't know why some reviewers, I guess it fell out of vogue. It's just not as popular as it used to be. But Moschino Umo, really underrated juice. So let's jump to the next one. Do I need to even unbox this? Y'all know about Terre d'Hermes Eau Trace Fresh. Y'all know that I'm crazy about this stuff. Terre d'Hermes Eau Trace Fresh. Uh, Spring in a bottle for me. Heavy on the geranium. Kind of minerally in the dry down. Instead of the earthiness in the original. The vetiver is here, but it's a little bit laid back. There's more citruses off the top. And with the orange, to me, the orange is a lot brighter and fresher and easier to like. The original Terre d'Hermes orange does smell a little bit like orange peel, or like it's an old orange. Like I do sometimes feel that way, but it's still a great fragrance, the original. But I like the Eau Trace Fresh even better. So, do y'all want me to go through my decants? I have a lot of 10 mil decants. I don't know if I should even go through them. I have like 20 travel atomizers, like 10 mils, that are all filled with all kinds of different fragrances. Do y'all want to see them? This one is Hawaii Volcano Intense Alexandria. Y'all know how much I like them. But let's see Caligna by Les Artisans Parfumeurs. This is one of my favorite fragrances. It is very unisex. It does smell kind of pretty. It has frangipani, which is a tropical flower, and then it has some beautiful, almost like a yellow fig, some oak in the dry down, some really nice notes. The quality of Les Artisans, especially sometimes when you can get these on sale, highly underrated house, Les Artisans Parfumeur. And the glass is beautiful. I'm crazy about this one. I have Timbuktu as well. I can grab that one real quick. If you love incense, if you love vetiver, if and also the green mango. Sometimes I forget to mention that there's a green mango in Timbuktu, and Timbuktu is to me, especially for the price, essentially a masterpiece. If you don't know Timbuktu and you like incense or you like vetiver, you just gotta try this stuff out. It might be a little bit linear to you, but it has a nice, soft, spicy vibe that's very calming, and I think that's really special. It's to die for. So let's see here. Dior Homme Eau for men. If you haven't seen this fragrance and you don't know about it, I recommended this one as one of the best mass appealing fragrances out there on the market. Sadly, it's been discontinued with the Dior Homme changes, and it's slowly getting hard to get, hard to find. You can still pick this one up at a pretty darn good price, like on eBay. And if you like this fragrance and you want, you can't live without it, you better buy your backup bottle now. I did the same thing with, I predicted it with, Acqua di Gio Essenza 5 months, 4 or 5 months after I did my review, and I said, I'm pretty sure the supply's drying up. It happened, and the price on that one skyrocketed. If you love any of the Dior Ohms, I'm going to say it again, Muglers, and even the Creeds are in danger with all of those being touched by reformulation because a lot of these companies have been bought out, and there's big changes coming our way. So really, really good stuff. Curly Scents is crazy about it. Says like it smells like the groom, smells like a wedding fragrance. Very clean, sophisticated. I like it for being almost a blue fragrance, but not smelling like a blue fragrance. And I'd much prefer this over YSL or anything like that. It's a lot classier, often compared to Prada El Homme. I do feel like there's some similarities, but they're not that similar. And I feel like this one's the better quality. This one lasts longer, and I think is the better fragrance overall. But Prada El Homme is not bad. I'm not trying to bash on it. It's a good fragrance, but if I had to pick between the two, it's definitely the Dior Homme. Next one is Fragranza's Rivolare. Really nice fragrance. I don't know what the brand is doing. They used to sometimes work with me with fragrances and all that. I don't know what's going on with them, but this is one of the best tea fragrances out there. Really minty. Has some pear sorbet, a little bit creamy, and one of my favorite fragrances, honestly, on my collection, Fragranza's Rivolare. If you're really into mint and tea, you definitely have to give this one a chance. Let's see, Bulgari Aqua. Bulgari Aqua. If you haven't tried this one out, this is the original one that started all. Everybody's into Aqua Amara. Everybody's crazy about it. And this is the one that started it all. This one has a little bit more seaweed to it. It's a little bit more, I don't know, citrusy, and it for some people it reminds them of cool water. But this is really good quality. It's salty. It smells authentically like the ocean, and this to me smells of one of the highest quality smells in the fragrance game for the money. If you want something that actually smells like the ocean, it actually smells legit. Like the summertime vibes. This is really capturing like a beach after a storm with the seaweed around, and it's still a little bit cold, and there's stuff all over blown around, and it smells really really good for the money. So can't say enough good about that one. The next one is Fragranza Preacher Blue. This is a copy of the Blue Lazuli or the Lapis Lazuli from the Armani Privé line. Really, really good fragrance. If this, I don't know if this is ever going to get hype behind it, but if the Lapis Lazuli gets hype behind it by Armani, I can understand. If you like Leighton and that kind of stuff, I think it does have a somewhat similar vibe to it, but it's a different smell. It has vanilla and some really interesting, fascinating qualities about it. It's mass appealing. People love it on me. Love it on, it's a really good fragrance. This peach or blue is darn good stuff. So let's talk about the next one. This is going to be definitely a fragrance I'm talking about this summer. I'm going to say really high good things about this one. I'm going to be talking about this one for a long time. This is Dolce Gabbana Light Blue Swimming Lipari. To me, this is the best flanker. This is the best Dolce Gabbana Light Blue. I mean, the light Dolce Gabbana Light Blue is good for being inoffensive and going to the workout and whatever. But this is definitely one that I would want to wear going out and about and actually, trying to get noticed. And this is salty, fresh air. It smells like salt water and also has a lot of ambergris to it. Big blast of ambergris. But this one projects a lot better. It lasts longer than the regular Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue. I know some people, this still doesn't give them great performance. It definitely performs better than the original on me, so I'm not complaining. Really good juice if you like salt and you want to smell like salt water. So this is let me just grab this one. This is Marametas Leliva. This is a really cool brand. They just came out of the woodworks with this one. A really, really good fragrance. This is leather, lemon, and vanilla, and it's just so well done. The lemon here is the longest lasting lemon in a fragrance I've ever smelled, and this fragrance smells great. I don't know if I would wear this in the high summer heat, but when I got this one, I at first I was skeptical. I really don't like it when companies give you like 5 notes on the bottle, and then there's a lot of hidden notes. Even when you see a whole note breakdown with like 12 notes, there's still like a couple hidden notes in the fragrance. So I was kind of skeptical of that. Like lemon, leather, vanilla, that could work, but it sounded kind of boring. But when I smelled it, this is a really nice juice. It really impressed me, and the longevity is great too. So give this guy a chance. This is his first fragrance, and I think it deserves the chance. If you really like lemon stuff, if you're a lemon head, that's a really good juice. So the next one, Pure Tonka by Mugler, my favorite out of the bunch. Pure Tonka, my favorite Mugler. And for the ladies, Angel Muse and the Angel Absolute and the Angel um, Majestux. How you say that? The majestic one. This is my favorite though. This is lavender. This is a beautiful, Tonka of course, but has some coffee vibes. Reminds me of a little bit of tobacco, a little bit of dry chocolate, and for some reason, ladies go gaga for this on me as well. I've been chased down with this fragrance. I've had people be, not want to leave me and, kind of be creepy on me. So, because of this fragrance, I was at work one time and I think a lady wasted probably an hour of the day because he just wanted to sit around me. I was like, well, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna cause a fuss, but Prison Blues. I talked about this one. I love this fragrance. My most versatile quality patchouli fragrance that I probably have in my collection. I'm crazy about Prison Blues by IDEO. If you like patchouli and you want something highly versatile and a patchouli that you can actually wear 24/7, most patchoulis I find are heavy. Most patchoulis I find are rich, and nothing's wrong with those. There's some great patchoulis out there, but this is one that I would feel comfortable with wearing in the summer. I'd feel comfortable with wearing this anytime, anywhere. Really, really good fragrance. Prison Blues by IDEO. Let's jump to another one. This is John Varvatos Vintage. If you haven't heard about this one, I've talked pretty highly about it on my channel. This is a boozy rum, leathery fragrance. Has this really interesting. It's hard to describe. This feels like a really rich man on a yacht, drinking a super expensive alcohol. It kind of has that most interesting man in the world kind of vibe about it. It doesn't last the longest, but it smells really good. And ladies also like this one, and I don't know why. My makers, he said that too. He said that ladies go crazy for this one. He really didn't know why. And John Varvatos Vintage definitely smells like a grown dang man. So let's talk about another one. This is one of my favorites that doesn't get a lot of talk. This is Ferrari Uomo. This is a copycat, in my opinion at least, of Fahrenheit by Dior. And great fragrance. Violet, of course, leathery, sweet, a little bit ambery perhaps. This one's, I think it's discontinued, and last time I checked, there wasn't really anybody selling it about, and people were starting to charge a lot more. At one time, this was being liquidated. No reviewers were talking about it besides me. Nobody seemed to care about it very much. And you could get a full size ball. You could get one of these for 14 bucks, and it was crazy. and it was one of the best values and one of the pickups that I absolutely loved in my collection. I like it better than Dirty English. I like it better than a lot of fragrances. Costume National Soul is darn good. It's a really good niche fragrance, but for me, for the money, I'm gonna keep this stuff around. So Ferrari Umo, if you have that bad boy vibe going on, really good stuff. Next one is Polo's Supreme Leather. Gentleman's Journey loves this fragrance, and so do I. This is a great soft honeyed leather fragrance, very calming and soothing, and easygoing as far as a leather fragrance. It has a really nice richness. It doesn't project very well, but it has a really good presence about it. It feels really good. It's more of a close encounter fragrance when you're going to be close to people or you're really not going to beg for attention. This is really nice to spray on a leather jacket and Supreme Leather. Love this stuff. And if you're just popping in, if you're here, if you don't know what's going on, I'm sharing my whole collection. This is my collection video. A lot of people have been begging for this. I have lots of samples and odds and ends, and I don't really want to get into that. That'd be crazy. We'd be here for 3, 4, 5, I don't know, hours if I went into all of my little decants. But we just went through those. Let's get through some other ones. Y'all ready? Let me know. Say hello. I don't know. Let's be like Joey Canoli. I don't know. Do y'all want to do that? Put in 69. 24 gold by Scent Story. 24 gold, the Oud edition. One of the best ouds for the money on the market. Got it from Fragrance by CA. Couldn't find it anywhere. I actually had been really wanting 24 gold for a really long time. I decided to go diving into the interwebs, into the world, the internet, and I found that Fragrance by CA had it, and I was like, they got it, and it was a good price, and I was like blown away. I was actually really tempted to get the regular, but the oud edition, this stuff's really nice. If you don't mind a little bit of oud in your fragrance, and more of a gourmand oud, a calamat kind of fragrance. Let's see here, Bulgari Man Black Orient. This is a hidden gem, which nobody talks about it. This is definitely a Tom Ford oud wood killer in my opinion. It's not as spicy, but has a similar smell. Great fragrance, leathery, beautiful quality, long-lasting fragrance. It still has some of the spice of the original. This one takes away a lot of the tuberose and replaces it more with like a. I don't think it's real Taif rose for the price. I don't think they are, but they tried to copycat the real smell of Taif rose, and I like Taif rose. It's a more dry, spicy Arabic rose. It's my favorite rose. So really good stuff. Check that one out, Bulgari Man Black Orient. Oh, we're digging up the good stuff. This is Mahariz. If y'all know about this one, I tried to get people to notice this one in a big way, and I still stand behind how good this fragrance is. This is by El Herbolario, and great fragrance. Some people say it's a copycat or a clone of Muscovy Jour. This is a lot more vanilla heavy. The clove is a lot more bearable, and the musk doesn't smell like body odor like Muscovy Jour does to me. I feel like this is the much better fragrance, especially for the price. More wearable, better smelling, much more affordable, and the quality of this smells darn good. I don't know if I would say it's the same as the quality of Muscovy Jour. I don't know if I'd be willing to say that, but it's still darn good. So check that one out, Mahariz. More of a fall fragrance. We're diving into more of my fall, winter fragrances, and more of my complex stuff. Half of my collection is kind of these deeper fragrances. I like my deeper, darker, more complex stuff. So we're starting to dive into that, and here's one of them. Let me get it outside of its little Mansara slip, its case. This is Oud Saffron. I always want to say saffron, but very intense on the saffron. Saffron heavy balm, leathery, kind of linear, but intense. Very intense fragrance. One time I went to work and I put on one spray, and I still knocked people down with this fragrance. One spray, and people could smell me feet away, and I was knocking people down. So, Montal fragrances are no joke, and this one's no joke. If you put on, I don't know how. Again, I'm not trying to criticize anybody, but these people who bundle spray 10, 20, 30 sprays, I don't know how you do it, especially if you go into a work environment. I had somebody tell me essentially I needed to stop wearing fragrances, or kind of threatened, to put me out the door, kick me out of the door because I put on 5 sprays of Versace Pour Homme. You know, If you're wearing something like an oud fragrance like this, like a Montal, and you put on 20 sprays of this, shoo, man, shoo. I don't know how they get away with it, but maybe you work somewhere that, I don't know, they don't care. This one, Monsar Oud Vanille, one of my favorite Monsaras. Very good fragrance, dark, tantalizing oud fragrance. And the vanilla is really, really dark and nice in this fragrance. A little bit medicinal on the oud side of things, but still really, really tantalizing and really, really seductive. Monsara's Oud Vanille, highly recommended by me, and really good stuff. If you like your sweet, sweet kind of oud fragrances. This one's a real gem. Almost nobody knows about this one. Very few people have talked about it, and I think Rob Zawait actually mentioned that he'd like to have this one. I don't know if he ended up buying it, but this is Bulgari. This is the Eau de Noir cologne, but this is the intense version. This is not the regular one. Even the regular one is considered a pretty good gem, but this is the intense. This is the gold. This is not silver, and it's a little bit hard to get. When I bought mine, there was only like 3 bottles left on eBay. I don't know if you can find this anywhere. This isn't a hyped fragrance. Not very many people actually talk about this one. So the prices probably aren't outrageous, but you might be able to find it. I don't know if it's available right now. But this is a really nice, dark patchouli, kind of almost inky. It almost has a Silver Mountain water like vibe about it, but it's darker and inkier and rosier. So really good juice though. Pretty seductive. If y'all haven't noticed, I have my own signature style, and I believe that with anybody. If you have your own collection, if you have your own style, I think everybody's collection should be different. If I see somebody, and I'm not criticizing or putting down on people, and all they have is YSL flankers and Dior Sauvage and Prada El Homme and all these highly recommended fragrances. Nothing's wrong with that, but I would hope that eventually that they would find their own style and find fragrances that they truly love. And also, I mean, you're going to smell good with a lot. I mean, most fragrances are going to have you smelling great, but I hope that you find something that you like. As you can tell, I have my own style, and I hope that y'all see that. Louis Cardon Sacred. I really hyped this fragrance. I really said positive things about it. I stand behind this one. Let me take it out of the bottle because this one is one of those that really deserves it. I mean, most of these are darn good fragrances. I keep them around for a reason. But this one, Gourmand Amber Fragrance, chocolatey, absolutely gorgeous. Worth the $50 or so you can get this for. One of my favorite fragrances. I have a hard time with amber, and this one does amber in a really gorgeous semi gourmand or maybe fully gourmand, depending on your opinion. Louis Cardon Sacred, highly recommended by me. Absolutely gorgeous stuff. Let's see what else I got here. This is Sama Al Emirat. This is also by Louis Cardon. I did mention this one. I don't know if I ended up actually doing a full length review. Some of these still need full length reviews, but this is a really nice fragrance as well. And I know it's just a little bit of a, I don't even know if it's really embossed. It's probably just a little bit of plastic on there. But I just impressed with the Arabic on there. I really like that bottle. But really nice, interesting ambery oud as well. It's darkened a little bit over time, as y'all see. I really like the color of that. And I don't know. This one's a little bit more gentlemanly, a little bit more grown up. Not as sweet, not as playful as the Sacred, but still a great oud for any occasion. Probably a little bit more of a fall fragrance. And honestly, over as time has gone, the vanilla in that fragrance has kind of matured. It's become a little bit more sweet than it used to be, but it's still a great fragrance. Let's see here. Enrico GI. If y'all don't know about this one, I have talked super highly about this brand. You can get them on Fragrance by CA, and I think they've been liquidated. I don't know. I can't find anything about the brand. I can't find anything about this company anywhere online, and they're just absolutely steals for the value. You can get these for less than $30, close to 20 most of the time. This is the Oud Nobile, but I'm gonna buy the Privé as well, and fantastic values for the money. They smell really, really good quality for the money, and I'm just blown away by what you can get. I mean, look at this little gem. You can get it for close to these for $25, $20 sometimes if you use the full 37% off on FragranceNet. And almost nobody talks about these. I'm the only person I know that has this one. Just about, the Oud Mobile. It's definitely worth your time looking into that one. So hidden gem alert, red alert. That's a good one. Okay, let's talk about some other ones. I don't know if y'all want me to pull out these fragrances by Bay. I just did a video on these. I just introduced them. Definitely check out these ones if y'all want a really nice spin on what fresh fragrances can do for you. Fragrances by Bay is an upcoming company, and watch my video. It's about 2 videos back. I release a video every day. If you're watching right now and y'all don't know, and you think that I don't put out video content very often, I put out videos like crazy. I put out videos at least 5 times, like 5 times a week, maybe even more. So definitely get strapped in. Let's see, Zurius Rouge, hidden gem alert again. Amazing fragrance. If you like Jupe, I think that this one's classier. I think it smells higher quality. It has a really fantastic red rouge kind of vibe about it. Has cactus as well. I love cactus actually in fragrances. Very classy barbershop, kind of powdery. I put on a bunch of sprays on this one time, and I was wearing a suit, and I had like I don't know how many people were staring at me, 10, 20 people, and everybody was like blown away because I smelled darn good, and they had no idea what that smell was, and they'd never smelled anything like that. I mean, I was really proud. I'll never forget that scent memory. When I walked in, people were like, "What?" because I smelled darn good. I smelled like a gentleman, and I owned that situation. So I love when a fragrance can do that for you. Let's see here. This is Les Elixirs Oud. I don't know if y'all have heard about this one. I've talked pretty highly about them. They're a brand new upcoming brand. This makes Oud highly versatile. This is a Oud fragrance I'd be comfortable with wearing 24/7. It's very long lasting. It's worth the money. You might say another Oud fragrance. You might see the price tag, 100. I think it's $180 for 100 mils. But this is definitely worth it, and it reminds me a little bit of that Oud wood like vibe of Tom Ford. But it's a little bit lighter. It's a little bit spicy and soft, and very very nice fragrance. I'm really impressed by it. Oud by Les Elixirs, high quality stuff. More focused on the longevity though. It's not the most complex oud in the world, but really nice for everyday wear. Let's see here. This one is Bulgari's Man in Black. This is one of my favorites. This box is getting beat up. I've had this around for a little while. This one's super heavy on the tobacco. I really like this fragrance. I've spoken really highly about it. It gets a little bit sweet in the dry down. It has tuberose. It might remind you of some classy, gentlemanly vibes. But I do have to say that the tobacco is really heavy, and the spiciness and the cardamom and that in the opening. This stuff projects really strong for the first hour and a half or maybe even longer. So if you want performance for the fall and the winter and you like spice, this will definitely give it to you. But you have to be careful with this one. It can be overpowering. This is another one of those fragrances 20, 30 feet away. I've had people smelling me. And I didn't really overspray. I only put on like 4 or 5 sprays. So if you put on 10 sprays of this, I don't know. You're probably going to have people smelling you from 50 feet away, especially if you have a draft like with the wind. So crazy good fragrance. I love it, but it's pretty intense, especially for the first hour and a half or two. So the next one is this has a slip cap, so I can grab the bottle kind of easy. This is one of my favorites here. This is Leather Oud by Florist. We're jumping into my niche now. This is my niche, guys. I'm getting into it now. So if y'all wanted to see my niche, this is a Florist Leather Oud. Very sophisticated, not the most complex fragrance, but a very sophisticated, mature, woody leather fragrance. I feel like it's very, very classy, very, very nice. And I absolutely love this fragrance. I think Clements didn't like this one, but I mean, we all have our likes and our dislikes. You probably have to be a little bit more grown up to like this fragrance. Younger men, I wouldn't go near this one, but if you like a little bit more of a grown up fragrance, Leather Oud by Florist. If you're that rugged, individual kind of masculine man, really good stuff. Kaleidoscope by Daniel Hossier, one of my favorite vetiver fragrances, and the fragrance that helped me know that I like eucalyptus in fragrances. Daniel Hossier, really good stuff. And I really like that they make their fragrances like this in the box, and they make it so easy and so accessible to grab onto. So, really nice presentation. It's a beautiful vetiver fragrance with citrusy. It's really citrusy. Eucalyptus makes it smell really watery and kind of dewy and green, and it's a really fun fragrance. It's pretty happy as well. I really like it. I honestly think it's more interesting. I think it's a little bit more complex, and the price is better per mil than what's it called? Creed's Bois de Portugal, which is a great fragrance. I still recommend it for the gentleman, but I personally prefer this one over Bois de Portugal. I actually was considering buying that at one point. Then I found this one, and I said, I don't need that Bois de Portugal anymore, even though I think that's Bois de Portugal is still pretty darn good stuff. Next one is Moon Milk by Stora Skogen. I don't know if y'all want me to open and show y'all this one again. I have a couple videos out on this one. This is probably my best sandalwood fragrance I've ever found ever. This is supposed to have real Mysore in it. I don't know how much Mysore is in this fragrance, but it's a beautiful tea and it has all kinds of, I don't know, it has a little bit of citrus, but it's not the most complex thing, but it's so dreamy, so soft, so creamy. And Stora Skogen is another brand, another niche house that's almost never talked about by anybody, and a really nice fragrance. I do think that this reminds me of Midnight in Paris slightly, and I know when I did my review and I first talked so highly about this one, it was sold out for a little while. So I think some of y'all listened to me about this one. It is pricey for what it is. It's about 150 odd dollars for 30 mils, but it's still beautiful juice. Beautiful juice. How am I doing? I'm probably halfway through. I don't know. I'm driving myself crazy over here. Next one is this is a Zegna. Some people say Zegna. I don't know how you're supposed to say it. Italian people, please don't be mean to me. This is Peruvian Ambret. I still have Peruvian Ambret in my collection. It's beautiful, light, versatile musk with an Ambret can smell very musky. Very nice fragrance. Originally, it's like a $200 fragrance. There was a time where these were being liquidated, and I don't know why, but you could get these for about 55 odd dollars. And if you look at the rest of the fragrances in the line, they always sell for 250, even sometimes more. So if there was a time, and I hope y'all listened to me, because when I was talking about this one, you could literally find this for 55 or $50 at some places, and they usually are $250 fragrances, or at least, or $200 to 200 at best, if you could ever, find it. But Peruvian Ambret, really good fragrance, but I definitely wouldn't touch it for more than, I don't know, 100. But if you like musk fragrances, if you love musk like I do, definitely is a good one. Let's talk about this one, Amber Oud. I'm going to have a review coming out on this one. This is their fragrance called Oud Unlimited. This is actually a bergamot, no, not bergamot, grapefruit, I believe, heavy fragrance and oud. It makes it a summer oud fragrance. One of the best. If you want oud all year long, 24/7, you're not going to be disappointed with this one. High quality, super good stuff. It has real white ambergris in it, musk, and damask rose. And the quality of this one is superb. If you're a guy who loves oud and you want it all year long, I think that Oud Unlimited is definitely going to do you right. And I was really impressed with that fragrance. And y'all know I do love some ouds, so but I like it to be pretty wearable though. I don't like the oud to be too scary, but hey, Kalahari. Let's see if I can open this real quick. Let's see if I can open this. I want to show you all the presentation of this one. I did a video on this one. I don't know how many of y'all saw that video, but this is a really good fragrance that's also kind of musky and kind of spicy. Every single one of their bottles has a different design. This is supposed to capture like Africa and like the forest. You can see the monkey and all that stuff. And really, really nice brand. Naomi Paris came out of the woodworks, and they're trying to grow. And I hope that they do well, because this brand, is really nice. The DNA of their fragrances do smell more musky overall, but I do think that they did a wonderful job. And Kalahari is one of their dry, spicy, deserty kind of fragrance. So The next one is Kiko Meshari's Musk Nobile. This, again, niche fragrances. You might have never heard about it, and you're never going to find this bottle anywhere. This is their, old bottle that I don't think has been reformulated, but they've moved to a newer bottles that all kind of have the same design and shape. This is, I don't know, I don't know if anybody out there is searching for these. I don't know how much, if this is worth any crazy money or anything like that. But it's a pretty gorgeous musk. It's not the most complex thing. It just smells like musk. But the quality of this musk is outrageous, and probably the best purely musk fragrance, the highest quality musk that I probably ever put my nose to. And I'm happy to have it in my collection. I love musk fragrances, but for a lot of y'all out there, you probably wouldn't understand buying a musk fragrance for this much money for what the bottles go for. So, I think I hear our cat crying outside. What's going on over there? Um, I don't know. I might have to go out there and save cat if it gets any worse. Let's talk about Carlin Men of Blame. Have y'all seen this one? I talked about this one a lot. This is an absolutely gorgeous fragrance. Let me see. Hey, cat. Cat wanted in. I was locking the cat out. This is a great cumin fragrance or cumin. A lot of people are afraid of cumin, and this makes it wearable. And it's one of my favorite fragrances, and really, really nice stuff. But leathery, black leather to this fragrance. Very interesting. Almost nobody talks about this brand. This is not Carven, Carven. This is with an L. And almost nobody talks about this niche house. Deserves some attention. Really nice fragrance. A lot of personality to this one, and deserves some love. And I honestly don't even know if they're around anymore. I haven't Googled them in a long while. For all I know, they're not even around anymore. This next one is Wonder Oud by Comme des Garçons, and if you haven't checked this one out, I ended up actually selling my X Magic by House of Matriarch because of this one. I tended that I it ended up that I actually wore this one. I tend to like it more. It's a really dark, almost balsamic, kind of patchouli, oudy fragrance. A little bit sharp, and definitely, in my opinion, on the masculine side of things. Wonder Oud is really, really good juice. Hey, cat. And do y'all like Comme des Garçons? I know that a lot of people out there must like them because they produce a lot of fragrances and they do fairly well, but they're just not really recognized in the fragrance community. Fragrance community is sometimes funny. There's certain fragrances that are, gems. Everybody seems to like them, and there's certain fragrances that almost nobody talks about. I mentioned Vera Wang Princess, for ladies, and how big of a top seller that is. And some people didn't believe me, but the fragrance community just simply doesn't talk about it. And the Vera Wang Princess sells like hotcakes, outside of the YouTube fragrance world. Carnar Barcelona, Palo Santo, great fragrance. Love this fragrance, often called Gaiac wood or the holy wood. And this is kind of creamy, it slightly has this vanillic overtone. If you're a vetiver lover, you absolutely have to try this one. If you're a vetiver head, a vetiver lover, Carnar Barcelona's Palo Santo, one of my favorite fragrances out there. Kind of creamy, and really nice vetiver stuff. And incense as well, of course, with the Palo Santo. Palo Santo has this unique, almost like sour creaminess about it, and it's very fascinating and very well done. It might be a little bit linear to some niche heads, but I often don't get into the strange, super dark, super complex niche stuff. At least I don't. So this one is Amouage Jubilation Man. Amouage, beautiful stuff, y'all. I think y'all saw my video when I showcased getting this fragrance. This is a true gem. I truly love this fragrance in my collection, and this is real deal Amouage, and I'm happy and proud to have this one in my collection. So, Amouage Jubilation Man, gorgeous fragrance, and if you don't know about it, you got to try it. I did try somebody's decant. I don't know if they got a mixed decant, like somebody sold them a fake or something, but it didn't smell near as good. So I'm trying to figure out if this has been reformulated again or been touched, If it has been, let me know, guys. I hope it hasn't been, but I still recommend, at least at this point, Jubilation 25 is one of the best niche fragrances out there, at least in my opinion. I really hope it hasn't been hit by reformulation because it's sold so well, or they're trying to make money. I hope not. Nichonne's Fan Your Flames. This is gorgeous too. If y'all haven't heard about this one, I have talked so highly about this fragrance. I've said so many good things about it. What is it, cat? Cat's fussing at me. It's a chatty cat. It likes to talk. Anyways, Nichonne's Fan Your Flames. Gorgeous stuff. And if you haven't tried this fragrance, absolutely love it. Tobacco, coconut, like roasted dark coconut syrup, and it's just absolutely beautiful. The spiciness off the top smells like habanero to me, like habanero peppers, and the dry down is a little bit tonka like. Some people say for a niche fragrance, it's maybe not as complex as maybe they want it, but this is definitely in the middle of the road. For some people, this is too complex and daring and interesting. And if you're a real niche head, you might actually think this is not complex enough, but it's a happy medium for me. It's wearable, but it has a lot of personality. So, and I like it better than Enigma or Creation E by Roja personally. That's just my opinion. So let's jump to. Well, I have three fragrances here. I'm going to do some reviews of these. I probably shouldn't show y'all I haven't even given y'all first impressions of these, but I have three bottles of fragrances from a brand called Primera, and I'll just show y'all the Prestige. I won't show y'all the other ones, but this is probably my favorite. I'm crazy about it. Prestige by Primera. I'll show y'all the bottle real quick, even though I haven't even given y'all my first impressions yet. But pretty darn good juice. I talked to the owner. He doesn't even have his website up yet, and I think these are going to be $130 for these 100 mils, and this one, at least for me, is definitely worth it. So Prestige by Primera Fragrances. Let's talk about the next one, ladies and gents. Let's jump into the closet of oils. How many oil do y'all want? All the oils? Do y'all want? How many of these fragrances do y'all want in here? Let me know. Here's my other bottle of Prison Blues, about the only fragrance I have a backup bottle of. Absolutely love this stuff. Crazy about it. And as far as a versatile patchouli fragrance, I have a bunch of oils. Let's start with Posey. Y'all know I love Posey. Great indie brand, indie house. This one's called Nightly. Kind of a really nice cardamom, maybe more on the masculine side. And really, really charming stuff. Well done. Reminds me of the bird called a nightingale, and I don't know why, but it's called Nightly, maybe Nightingale. It has a really nice, almost like a blue lavender kind of feel about it. Nice stuff. Napoleon Cologne. I have this little decant in here. This one is my favorite Aventus style fragrance on the market. This one's more of a dupe of the Aventus Cologne. But as far as Aventus goes, if I wear anything like that, as y'all can see, I haven't even worn a lot of this. It's still, I haven't used a lot. But if I want Aventus, that's what I reach for. That's from the House of Zoha. And I have their Emirati Oud, which is a nice, spicy, more of like a spice market kind of oudi fragrance. Pretty good stuff. I have here a dupe of Velvet Desert Oud by Dolce Gabbana. This is actually pretty good. I have my review out on it, and it's a really good dupe, and it captures the freshness and the top of the fragrance, and that's what you get for the majority of this. It's kind of linear, but I think the opening smells so good. If I could find it, and this is actually a dream come true, because I think the opening is the magic of Velvet Desert Oud. And if you can get a fragrance that'll last you hours and hours and smell like that opening, I mean, hey, I was crazy about it, and I gave that one a really, really high review. I'm trying to be careful actually over here, not knocking over all of these things. I have all these oils and they can fall over. Rhyolite by Happy Land. Really, really gorgeous, vanillic, ambery kind of fragrance. Really, really nice stuff. I have a positive review on this one. Rhyolites might be my favorite from Happy Land as a whole. I really like their Blue Fire as well. I have their Happy Land Signature, which is really good. But I think their Rhyolite's probably my favorite. Here is the Happy Land Signature. I still have this one around. and it's darn good too. It is really nice, but Rhyolite probably steals my heart, but Blue Fire is really good too. Here's my vintage bottle of Patchouli Noir. This is the vintage bottle. If you buy the new version of it, it's not the same bottle. And this stuff smells a lot more authentic, like natural patchouli. This is my strongest patchouli I've ever smelled. I have tried a decant, I think, of Psychedelic, um, and some other really well known, really highly respected patchoulis, but nothing comes to the quality, comes close to the originality and the absolutely gorgeous quality of this vintage bottle of Patchouli Noir by Il Profumo. So I don't know why. I don't know. I've smelled the modern formulation of this. I actually smelled the regular one, and then I found somebody. Luckily enough, I came across eBay and I saw it was the vintage one, and I didn't know that there was going to be so much of a difference. I like the original. The original's a little. I mean, the newer version is a little bit more milky, soft, creamy, and maybe a little bit more spicy. This one's definitely a lot more heavy on the patchouli, but I still love it. Gorgeous, gorgeous stuff. Super high quality. It's vintage and it's aged really well. Look at how golden that juice is. It's absolutely bonkers. Let's talk about. I got my Versace Pour Homme in here. I keep these ones in the closet. These ones don't have boxes. And my oils, I protect them in here. Versace Pour Homme. Often recommend this for the young man, the young businessman, the guy trying to go out for his first business interview. Maybe he's out of college and maybe he wants to make a really first good impression when his first job interview. I mean, real deal job interview. I often recommend this one. Really soft and sophisticated. You can't go wrong. I think it's better than the regular Acqua di Gio Profumo, and I think this one goes head to head with a lot of the Acqua di Gios. So Versace Pour Homme, still good juice even here in 2020, at least in my opinion. Alchemia's Traveler and the Moon. Love this stuff. Beautiful white tea fragrance, white wine, a little bit creamy in the dry down. I don't know why, but this is one of my most beloved fragrances in my collection. I can't tell you why, but Alchemia's Traveler and the Moon makes me think of maybe a song of Nightwish. Y'all know how much I like the band of Nightwish, and I don't know. It puts me in a happy place, meditative and all that. Next one is Eccentric Molecules '03. I think this is one of the most disliked out of the bunch, but I just have to be the weird guy. I don't know why, but I actually like this one. This is my favorite out of Eccentric Molecules. I can actually smell this one. The other Eccentric Molecules, I can't really smell them, and this one's a really nice vetiver fragrance, kind of grassy, and really easy to layer with a lot of fragrances, and perfect for the spring too. Eccentric Molecules '03. Here's that Blue Fire I was talking about. Gorgeous fragrance. A really fascinating ambergris fragrance with some strawberry. It changes a lot. It can smell a little bit herbal at times, and for some people it might smell strange. But this is actually one of my biggest compliment getters. Really different and unique, and I find it's really fun. That's actually likable to so many people, but it just smells so strange from the atomizer. But once you put it on skin, it becomes a little bit more ambergris like, and it actually blends with your skin really nice. If you just smell it from the atomizer, you just spray it on a piece of paper, you might think it's really weird stuff. Put it on your skin, give it a chance, and it's really nice. The next one is Le Eau Froid by Serge Lutens. Almost nobody talks about this one. This is my favorite, probably lemonade fragrance. Happy vibes, very clean, very sophisticated. Reminds me a little bit of You or Somebody Like You by the House of Etat Libre d'Orange. And really, really good stuff for a happy, inoffensive, just easy going out about fragrance. I often say that this one is like a nice walk in the park. So Le Eau Froid, very minty, crisp, fresh, citrusy. To me, it's a really, really likable fragrance, but almost nobody talks about it. Another Serge Lutens, in my opinion, highly underrated fragrance, and one of my best date fragrances is Santal Majusculin. Things are getting heavy, things are getting serious if I'm pulling out this one. This is a beautiful rose. It's sandalwood and a little bit of dry, almost like bitter powdered chocolate, and a really nice fragrance. Real unusual, but yet very charming. Dry bitter chocolate, gorgeous rose, and then like a really nice, soft, almost sandalwood, but it's not overtly creamy sandalwood. So, one of my favorite Serge Lutens, no doubt about it. I got that for a steal as well. I have a little decant, travel decant of Pure Tonka when I travel. And I have Lalique Pour Homme in here. Again, one of my favorite citrusy fragrances. Again, might be considered barbershop. Some people might be considered old school, but this is still one of the best cheapies on the market. Best affordable fragrances. You can get this one for 25 bucks under all day. And this one retails for like $100, and it's worth $100. You know, some of these people buy these Hubagant fragrances. At one time, those were ridiculously cheap, and you don't know how much some of this stuff is worth full retail. If you're just always in the cheapies and always looking at the cheapy discounters, you might not know how much this stuff is worth. But Lalique Pour Homme, I mean, worth every penny, and a clean, sophisticated fragrance, no doubt about it. You smell like the boss with a fragrance like that. So I have some oils, all kinds of different oils. I have Possets here. I haven't talked about them in a while, but I really like their silver sandalwood. I think this is really interesting in metallic sandalwood, perfect for layering with all kinds of different scents. I quite like that one. They have one here called Orion, which is like a really interesting, soft, spicy, leathery kind of take, almost like on a Ventus. It's like a quintessential masculine fragrance, and it's really nice, but it's quite subtle. A lot of the Possets I find are kind of subtle, but I do find that they're nice. Posey, I have with Wuthering Heights. I don't know if I've showcased this one very much on my channel. Again, these are oils. Wuthering Heights, and this one's a fascinating and very interesting complex apple fragrance. Definitely go and look into the brand if you've been looking for a fascinating apple fragrance that's kind of dynamic and a little bit more a little different, a little bit more unique than you might not expected for an apple fragrance. Check that one out. This one's Wicked Ghost. This is like smoky vanilla. It's also really good for layering, and I think it's fun. Wicked Ghost. This one's called Shy Ghost. This is more of like a fluffy vanilla fragrance, and it's really, really fun. This is from their Halloween collection. I don't know. I think she brings back most of her fragrances seasonally and sells fragrances seasonally, but I don't think you can buy those right now. But let's see here. From Andromeda's Curse, this one's called Strength. This is a great salted dark chocolate oil. At least to me, it is really good. Beast of Blood is really strange to some people, maybe, but it's really strong and potent and bold. And Beast of Blood by Andromeda's Curse is a really good indie house. Andromeda's Curse is, but they're a little bit more gothic, a little bit witchy. And to me, Strength and Beast of Blood were my personal fragrance, but for ladies, the Bat Orchid was a real good winner too. So the oils from Zoha, I got some of those in here. Baccarat Rouge 540 Extrait. I've spoken really highly of these oils. I've said really good things about them. This is one of the ones I think I've done reviews of them, but I might put out a little bit more, a few more videos. But after that, I know my mom wants this. She's crazy about it, and she might be mad at me. I haven't given that to her, and I told her I would. But they have a version of Leighton, and like all of theirs are dead on. I mean, they smell just as good, if not better, than the originals, and they last a long time too. So Zoha oils are no joke. They do a really good job. Blackheart from the House of Sucre Labelle is one of my favorite indies that they made. And again, I'm a sucker for the chocolates and salt, but this one's really fascinating as well. Their Black Heart collection is pretty nice overall. Their Bleeding Heart is really fun as well. Their Bleeding Heart is quite fascinating as well. So, did I get through all these? Is there anything snuck in here that I missed? Um, there is Wood Rose by Sucre Labelle, which I found was a really nice, interesting rose. And I have their Black Rose, which I kept around. I love that smell. Black Rose by Sucre Labelle is definitely buy worthy. I find that Posset's Lord Byron, She Walks in Beauty, is definitely one of their best creations. A little bit more on the leathery side. Really interesting stuff. I have some decants, some samples. Here is Desert Oud, a copy of that by what this brand, Scent Library UK. They do a really good oils as well. If you're looking for, some copycat oils, I talk super positively about this one. This is a copy of Rojas Britannia. It's a $1,200 fragrance. This stuff, smells darn good. Pretty close. I can't say it's the same quality, but it smells darn good. And this stuff is crazy on the longevity. This is like an 8, 10 hour, 12-hour oil, and it projects pretty well. I'm absolutely in love with this one. I can't believe how good this stuff is for the price. This is Britannia. This is probably my favorite from that house. Again, this is Scent Library UK, and absolutely gorgeous. I have some other oils in here. Airage Fragrances has sent me like an amber one, and some that here. This is a Musk Silver Wild from Sibylle. This one's really interesting, like metallic fruity fragrance. It's really weird, but somehow works. And I haven't done my review. I think I told them that I would, but I haven't done one yet. It's a really interesting, like metallic fruity fragrance, and I think that ladies or maybe women would find that one really fun because maybe there's not a lot of metallic fragrances that might work for the ladies out there, but I think you just might like that one. I have a decant here of Starry Nights by Montal, one of the best citruses I think on the market, and a pretty playful fragrance. Here's this little that oud I was telling you about. This little guy is $25. This is real wild oud. I forget off the top of my head what kind this is, but I know who the guy is. So this is from pureoud.com, and this is legit stuff. This little guy here again, $25. 1 mil is $100. So ouds get crazy. If you think oud fragrances are expensive, if you think niche fragrances are expensive, if you buy the raw ingredients like the real rose absolute, the orris, the real jasmine, all this stuff, the ingredients are so expensive, and that's why synthetics are used to try to duplicate the smells of the real deal stuff. Because if you made a fragrance out of the real deal absolutes of some of these most desirable oils, I mean, you would make fragrances. I don't know how much it costs, like $1,000. Sultan Musk Sibylle collection. Again, some more Sibylles. I really like the Sultan Musk. Very clean and gentlemanly. Maybe has a little bit of that soft, spicy vibe in the background, but mostly like a soapy musk. I bought this musk oil from Oud Elite. I don't know much about Oud Elite, but it's pretty good as well. I haven't honestly pulled this one out. It was a little bit more expensive. I haven't really worn that one too much. What else do I have? Probably have a few things hidden in here, but some little samples and decants. But I think I'll give this one a rest. I probably have something that I've forgotten somewhere, but this has been most of my collection. I think I have 70 odd fragrances, or maybe 80. I haven't really been counting, but I don't have the biggest collection in the world. Oh, I forgot to mention Aspen, and I have some deodorants around. Cody's Aspen. I still keep this one around to spray on the fresh, clean clothes, refreshing the room, and just sometimes in the spring I do wear this one. Really nice, crisp, green fragrance. Not the highest quality, but it's a really good fragrance. If you like the smell of like log cabins, evergreen pines, and you just want something to freshen up the room, maybe relax a little bit, and you really like green scents or the green smelling things. I think Cody's Aspen is still really nice, and I think you can get that one for what, $9 odd for a full size bottle. Really nice stuff. I have a few. I have this. I actually haven't used this yet. This is Funk Buddy number 2, the Woodsy from Billy Jealousy. This is a deodorant. Have y'all ever seen this brand? They have a fragrance out as well. I've never seen anybody talk about it. It's a fragrance called Illicit, and I've been tempted to buy it a time or two. Almost nobody talks about it, but I've never actually used this stuff. I probably need to try this sometime. This is the most expensive deodorant I think I've ever bought before, but really fun stuff. I like having fun stuff, crazy stuff. So I have a bunch of bar soaps. I have some discovery sets over here. I've reviewed a couple things from them, some of them here and there, but there's a lot of them here I still haven't reviewed. I have like 5 or 6 discovery sets of samples. I have a box of samples, but I don't want to talk too much about those. I got some oils recently from Airage as well. Airage is really nice. They've been kind to me. They have incense and all kinds of things. I need to do my video soon, but there was a real I don't know where it went, but it's that real piece of sandalwood. And there's some Cambodian oud here. Anyways, really nice house. They've treated me really kindly. And they certainly do have some good stuff going on. But anyways, I think I'm going to wrap this up soon. But if you want some incense, Soul Niche is really nice. Health Incense is really nice as well. This is Green Hojari, very expensive stuff. A lot of people in the Middle East put this in their drinking water, and it has a very pleasant taste. It dissolves a lot easier than a lot of the other incense. If you've never done that before, um, it's a really fun experience, and I do think that it has health benefits as well. So I think I'm going to wrap this video up here. Hopefully you've had fun hanging out with me. I do have tons of incense I could show y'all, but I don't want to go through every single incense. I have a huge sample pack. I have a tons of essential oils. I have, some really rare incenses I want to showcase and do videos on. So, and I have a bunch of samples here. I have a whole bag of ones from Serge Lutens, some of the older ones. I have some samples from Sense Hild, and that's the Italian brand I was talking about. They're quite a nice house, and their Boissimo is really gorgeous as a coffee fragrance. I'm going to do a review and speak really highly of that one. But that's Sense Hild, and that's it. Let me see if it's here. Yeah, here it is, Boissimo. Gorgeous stuff. One of the best coffee fragrances out there on the market. I'm definitely going to buy it. It's I think it's a full 100 mils, and I think it's like $160, and it's definitely worth it. But straight from Italy. So I do have a vintage. I'm going to sell this, so I didn't know if I wanted to mention it, but I guess I will. This is a original bottle, a vintage bottle of Guerlain Homme Eau de Parfum, and the Intense. And it's been sprayed very little. And I definitely am going to sell this one, but it's a good fragrance. I just, when things go vintage, often I need the money, and I feel like I could put the money towards something else, something I want a little bit better. So, or, I could buy a lot better things with that money. So, is there any other things y'all want to talk about? Are there any other fragrances that I didn't mention? All right, you want me to talk about anything else that I didn't give enough time? Did I talk enough about these fragrances? I have some decants, and I didn't mention what was it? Sensual Obsessions, but this dupe of Vodka on the Rocks, Killian's Vodka on the Rocks, I think is great. And I have a few of their dupes over here as well. Pretty nice house. Their Lime on the Sky is a really good summer fragrance. That I'm not trying to hype them up, but they're good. Anyways, I think I'll let y'all go. Hope that y'all enjoyed hanging out with me today and seeing my whole collection. This is my whole collection, guys. Maybe some of y'all have been keeping count. Maybe some of y'all have counted all my fragrances with me as I've gone throughout and shared them all with you. I know this might have not been the best format, and I know that I might have not done everything perfectly, but I don't have, a movable bipod or anything perfect where I can actually, have a perfect setup. I wish I could, but thank y'all for hanging out with me. I see that there's still 12 people here. I haven't ran you off with me talking about everything and anything. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. It was a lot of fun. I do have my incense down, briquettes or charcoal down there. I think I've started enjoying making my own incense oils, and I think that's the better way to go. You get a lot better smell out of it. This is a frankincense oil, and absolutely gorgeous smelling stuff. It's not hard to make. I've done an intro video, but definitely Google how to do that. It'll save you a lot of money, and it's better. The steam distilled frankincense does not have the actual acid that makes frankincense so special with its healing properties. So, anyways, I'll let you go, my friends. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. Feel free to message me anytime. I do have an Instagram which is blowing up. My Instagram's going crazy. Check me out, Centaur Fragrance. I just uploaded new channel art on my YouTube. Hopefully, y'all like my new channel art. I changed it to Centaur, and I just changed it all up. Let me know. Do I need to change my profile picture? And just let me know how I'm doing. I'm here for you guys. From a fragrance addict, as you can tell, I've just talked about for an hour and 45 minutes. Went through my collection and just gave a quick intro of anything and everything in my collection. I'm a madman. I'm deep into fragrance just like y'all are. So, anyways, I'll see you next time, everybody. I wish y'all the very best. Be safe out there in this crazy, crazy world. Be safe, be careful, be well. And I'll see y'all next time, everybody. I'm sorry that I was so chatty. And I know that, we got to a point where having a great chat. And then I just went all out with my collection. And people didn't really pop in and really didn't say anything after that. So I just went for it. I hope that if you wanted to say anything or chat a little bit more, I'll be doing lives on Fridays and Saturdays, so you'll have a chance to talk to me in the future. So, anyways, I'll let you go, everybody. Wishing you all the best. Stay safe. Stay well again. And peace out, my friends. Relax, meditate, wear what you love, and I'll see you next time, everybody. Bye. Have a good one.